My name is Lisa, and I am an ENTJ. So to be an ENTJ going through this experience has been really unique, specifically because I've spent almost my entire life believing I was an ENFJ. And I think that I suffered from a lot of the misconceptions that a lot of people do, that it was like, well, I can't possibly be an ENTJ. I'm an ENFJ because I'm nice and I like people and I care about people. And, you know, the misconception that if you are a woman thinker, then that means that you're somehow not the way that you are supposed to be in the world. So I think, you know, I only settled on my best fit type about a month and a half ago. And that was actually one of the advanced profiling students did a session on me, and really life-changing, and just kind of following that up with sort of immediately coming here and getting immersed and learning more about it, and really learning to embrace it rather than to run away from it and try to just continue to be the person I feel like I'm supposed to be rather than the person I am. Having the ability to acknowledge that and start to work to let it go has been really powerful. Yeah, so this was actually the first session I've ever done, and my nerves were crazy and my notes were crazy. And actually yesterday afternoon, as I was preparing for the session, Joel walked past me and said, wow, look, this executive suite that you have set up, because I had the note cards and the playing cards and the computer and the notes. So I really had a lot of hesitations that I was going to be able to do it, and, you know, and was it going to be okay and all of that. And so it was a really enjoyable experience. It was definitely challenging. I think specifically I am a person who needs a little time to reflect before I make decisions. And so I was nervous that it wasn't going to all come together, but, you know, kind of being able to like lean into the training and have, you know, the right types of conversations to have, to where it's not just like a bullet list of questions that you go through, but really spending the time to get to know the person and meet them where they are. Once it was over, it was just such a sense of relief of like, oh, there is a rhyme and a reason to this. And it is, you know, sometimes it's a bit of an art in addition to a science, but kind of just seeing how it works. It felt really exciting, and I really look forward to continuing to practice and refine the skills. The most important element for me this week has honestly been just having the opportunity to connect with like-minded people, and specifically having the opportunity to connect with folks that you didn't feel like you needed to explain who you were, and just being able to know that they saw you, you saw them. You didn't have to waste time with small talk. You didn't have to apologize for not showing up the way that you felt like maybe you were conditioned to show up, and you could just be who you were. It was such an easy feeling of resting into something. And I think we all kind of experienced just, you know, how little effort it required to feel like seen and loved and supported by these individuals that were strangers, you know, just a few days ago, and how incredibly powerful it is to know that those connections that we established here, we get to carry forward and have with us, you know, for the rest of our lives. And that's really lovely. I think the opportunity to meet and connect with people of all kinds of different types has been really illuminating for me in a lot of ways. Not only to see how different people of the same type show up the same and also different, but also to kind of challenge the misconceptions that I had about how specific types walk through the world. You know, I think that we rest into stereotypes often when it comes to looking at this personality profiling systems, the systeme types. You sort of have, you know, your archetype of what an ESFJ is. And then every time you see a person who sort of fits the mold, you're like, oh, look at that ESFJ, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So just to kind of challenge that and really realize that, yes, there's these 16 types, but within that, you know, it's not limiting as much as it's just really illuminating to see the different ways that it can manifest on such an individual level by, you know, people who are so similar, are so different, and it really kind of, rather than feeling like you're minimizing a person down to a couple of letters, it's really a starting point to actually be able to see them fully expressed in the way that they can express themselves that nobody else could, even a person of that same type. I'm taking a lot of things home with me from this experience. Honestly, I don't know that I've completely formalized what that even means yet, but I am definitely taking home a new knowledge of myself, the way that my mind works, giving myself permission to operate the way that I am rather than the way that I think I'm supposed to be. And then, likewise, as a person who is into personality and is into psychology and is into personal growth, if I've been able to walk through the world misunderstanding the way that my mind works, I can only imagine that if you haven't even thought about this before, this could really be life-changing, so I'm very much looking forward to taking the skills home, spreading it to everybody I know. I've already filled out my application to join the advanced profiling class, which is going to be starting next year. And I'm already excited about everything that's going to come from that. And really just kind of being open to this experience, and wherever it leads, wherever it goes, I just feel like it's a really incredible ride to be on. Yeah, absolutely. I would say to individuals who are on the fence and maybe have been considering profiling training and haven't really circled around to it yet, that if there's any part of you that resonates with these lessons and this information, and even if you don't really know how you would personally use profiling, in your professional career, I would say if this resonates with you, you should just do it. I personally haven't identified how I'm going to utilize it, in a tangible, concrete way in my professional life, but I know having a position where I deal with people, this is going to just make me so much better at what I do. And I really think that no matter what you do for your career, being able to bring this information to your workplace is going to make your workplace better. But more than that, I think even just the skills that this teaches you to become a better friend, a better wife, a better husband, a better sister, a better brother. I think that being able to know where people are coming from, meet them where they are, even if you never do another formal profiling session again after you go through profiling training, I think that this experience alone is enough to take all of the relationships in your life to the next level.